Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
So today I want to talk about another misapplication of that trowel, that application where it feels like love, care, and affection and really kind of isn't, for lack of a better way to say it. So let's start today with the idea of providing advice. Now, if you've ever given advice, there's a good chance that it came from the right place, at least in theory, right? You wanted to save someone from suffering the same sort of horrible experience that you might have had yourself. And so in sharing your wise counsel, you create this kind of problem. First, you are essentially conflating their situation with your own, which may not be the same thing. You, in doing that, start to set up additional downstream problems. So we've talked a lot about giving advice on the channel over, the past year and a half and what it looks like and why. And here is one of the sort of secrets about how and why it breaks relationships more than it helps. When you give advice, whether you mean to or not, you inherently create an expectation. And when you create that expectation that either someone's going to do what you said or take your counsel under advisement and proceed with that knowledge, you are now setting this expectation and you're setting yourself up for failure. As the advice giver, you expect, I've taken the time to give you this advice, that you're going to do something with it, and therefore come back later on and give me the kudos, like, hey, your advice was perfect, or something like that. Now, again, your underlying mechanisms may vary, but the outcomes are largely the same. When you do give this advice, the recipient now has this awkward, unwieldy gift to deal with. It's a gift they didn't ask for typically, and something that if they use it, now essentially comes with this indebtedness, and if it doesn't work, then it also comes with blame, right? So giving advice is one of those things that feels like care and actually doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to. So how can we solve the need to give advice without essentially setting ourselves up for those kind of downstream consequences? And the first thing you do, more than anything, is listen. And then you follow that up with asking questions, which involves more listening. More often than not, rational people will come to a similar conclusion if the questions are presented in a way that helps them see the things that maybe they haven't looked at. What have you tried? How do you think you might solve this problem differently? What if your situation or your roles were reversed? There's tons of questions that you can take on that have a similar sort of angle to offering advice, but don't come with all of the loaded expectation. So as you go through your kind of roster of things that you do to demonstrate care, you want to take advice off the table. It really doesn't help. You're better off offering questions, surfacing new opportunities or options, or even better, just offering presence and care. Cleanly saying, hey, listen, however you work through this, if you need to talk, I got your back, or whatever you're going through. If you ever need anything specific that you think I can help with, I'll be there to do that. By enabling people to take on their own problems and letting them know that you're there to support them in that endeavor, you are giving genuine care as opposed to this sort of load bearing or not load bearing sort of surrogate care by giving advice. So this is sort of, again, the second one of the second ways that the trowel sort of gets misapplied and looks like love and care and cohesion and actually turns into something worse. So we'll bring in the next lens for the trowel and its use and misuse tomorrow.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.